Yesterday morning, Scrawny and Lauren and Pansy Scott. How you doing?
I've had a rough start to the day, James.
Oh, have you? What happened? Please
you know
tell.
what's happened. You're just making me explain it, aren't you?
Well, it's a you.
Couldn't this be like show and tell?
I wouldn't have, but you said you had a bad day.
It's hidden, all right?
It's hidden, okay.
No, I managed to burn 2 holes in my shirt this morning.
Wait,
just
2?
Because, yeah, it was actually 2 somehow.
Impressive.
This is what happens when people tell CSGO casters to actually iron their clothes. We just...
You tried to do it with 2 irons at the same time, or?
Efficiency.
That was it, yeah.
It was efficient.
Exactly it. So yeah, rough start to the day. I feel like I could join EnVyUs at this rate, you know what I mean? Slow starter. Hopefully it picks up towards the end of it.
Yeah. How was yesterday for you guys? How did you enjoy the games that you were casting in the morning?
I mean, the fact of the matter that we got that KPI upset was just the best start we could have asked for. So that in and of itself was excellent. And just good games all in all. I mean, a bit of a blowout with Heroic versus Misfits, but again, the type of CS they were playing and kind of the groove they got themselves into, it's no surprise to see Misfits drop down. But EnVyUs in an elimination match already is kind of exhilarating. And hopefully we get just as good of a start today.
Yeah, no, it's good to see the EnVy storyline from possibly start to finish here, but I hope they do a little better. You know, as I said, I think you guys on the desk got it right. I think this could be a very clear best-of-3 series going all the way to that 3rd map, just considering that even though Cobble is a pretty good map for EnVy, even classically, that T side was always pretty solid. I don't see them getting off to that, like, 6th start just because it's EnVy.
How about the crowd as well? How has that been feeling? Because you guys are right in the midst of it.
Yeah, but it's quite quiet in here.
Well, it is right now because there's no Spanish
like padded
team.
walls, like my normal home. But no, it is quite quiet in here, but you do get to hear the crowd. We definitely heard it during the KPI game, which is insane.
Awesome.
Like, it was so early as well.
Yeah, not just hearing it, but feeling it physically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They got really
the vibrations. What? No, don't laugh at that. I was being serious.
James.
I was making
serious.
an innocent comment about the vibrations that noise make through a box.
Ooh.
On that note, on that bombshell and your mind, I'm going to hand it over to you so that we can go and sit down and watch this match.
I need to cool down after that. But yeah, we can start focusing up on the CS. Thank you very much, James and the boys on the desk. It's always good to hear from you guys. And how do you feel about this game? Because I think, as said, and I already highlighted, this is probably going to go to all 3, unless EnVy turn up in the 1st. Yeah,
unless EnVyUs just decide to, again, come in as a whole other beast. I'd like to think that it goes all 3, especially when you consider the map pool. I think that's kind of the coolest thing with this series, is that we've put ourselves in a nice middle ground for all 3 teams. I'd say that Sean Gares as well has kind of been known maybe for good calling on Cobblestone. I remember when we saw, I believe, TSM upset versus Fnatic once on it. So they have wins because I think that he has a great understanding of, again, how to use players. You think of, you know, the ability to exploit drop down and just get aggressive elsewhere on the map. It's definitely going to be a good one. I have that sense.
Yeah, I'd like to add a little undertone almost to this, because speaking to any team who plays like, I guess, quote-unquote tactical CS, or like a, you know, thinking man's game as a team, even with firepower, they find it hard to play against the French teams currently, whether it be EnVy, G2, any of these guys, because they have that weird balance, the French teams mostly, and obviously we're kind of, I'm generalizing here, but there's a lot of, depending on individuals, there's a lot of kind of looser game style. It's not as regimented as it once was known to be. You know, the days of existence now, you know, a little further away from us, and we'll see if that ever does return, but they are quite hard to handle. So teams that actually do have a very kind of strategic approach, a very well-read sort of mentality, like most teams with Sean Gares will have, might find it a little tricky to play against these guys to a degree, but I know that the Misfits will do their homework on this. They're not a team who are going to rest on their laurels, but with EnVy, they will come in just, you know, with their own game plan, with their own way of playing it. They won't play too much difference. And we all know how EnVy like to play this map, pretty much. We all know how they like to play their T-sides. It's not exactly anything refreshing or new, but it's one thing to know how they play, it's another to be able to deal or do anything with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when I think that, like, a good example of just aggression from Scream could be seen in the KPI match yesterday. Once the score got very close and KPI looked like they were actually going to win, we just saw Scream running out into the A-bomb site on the T side and getting super aggressive. So hopefully we get to see that as well. Hopefully we just get to see that explosiveness from EnVy, and it is not going to be a slower start. But start nonetheless, Lauren. We are here in the pistol round of the opening map between EnVyUs and Misfits. Elimination on the line.
We'll be on the CT side, EnVy starting there, so already looking for info. XMS gonna find one. I don't think he's gonna be able to get away. He does. 25 HP makes it out. Lovely little almost assassination to start this off with. And Envy, for my eyes, when they get fired up, when they get angry about losses, when they individually want to make a lot of difference, you actually get to see them being really, really quite deadly. So I wonder if that's going to kick in here. Again, do remember, Envy did beat G2 at the very start of this roster when, during Pro League when it first happened, and that kind of blew everyone's minds. But here's Scream putting on a show for us. We're going to connect one towards Shazam, and it's basically just buying time here. It's making it very, very awkward for Misfits because they have no map control. The push-up's already happening by A, but that's a good breakthrough. They could work with this. They don't know there was a 4-man stack, but they left the bomb. No, Sean, what's happening? Having to go all the way back around. He's going to have to walk this out, and it'll depend on the 2 players heading up towards A to get some real estate.
Now, already EnVyUs have players to the back of the site, though. Happy dropping out of Belk, but gets removed. Amanek getting another headshot. Does swing this back to the 3v3. XMS is low. He's going to be able to get this shot off towards the APC. So that's, again, the man advantage doubled down because Scream arrived. So that's all you need. Scream steps out from connector, 2 quick taps, and EnVyUs find the pistol.
Got a little worried then when XMS just didn't land that, the first shot. The USPS is such a weird gun sometimes. It's like, feels like either a rail gun or you hit nothing with it. But Scream showing us that, yeah, he's certainly feeling it today. This is the play he made through the side. Came in, utilizing the smoke on that and just caught the last 2 players. Maybe a quick hit going to come out here. Look at the smokes they've got coming down. A couple of Tech 9s, maybe a split towards A, few through drop, and maybe the rest through middle. RPK waits, so the tank chills out, waits on the other side. The flash comes in, and they should make a good hit out of this. Sick going to find RPK, that's good, but the trade comes back in for Envy. And the vast majority of the hit coming through from Misfits has been quelled, but there's still that kind of pronged attack coming towards A. Yeah,
Amanek just needs to clear out the stables, but Sixer does a good job of just jumping back and forth. Shazam able to trade it back, but 1v3 is not a good look here for him. Tries to get another kill, but it's Scream with a headshot yet again as he rotates into the bomb site. So a nice little anti-force buy here from EnVyUs. I mean, again, successful little drop-down play. They're able to get up a couple kills, but no bomb plant. Everything par for the course.
Yeah, for Envy, this is good. Envy is the sort of team where you want to get those first 3 rounds on the pistol, win the gun round, and then you start feeling out the game. They're one of the teams that actually needs that more than anything. It's always good to have, of course, but some teams don't necessarily depend on it emotionally. But if Envy get off to a good start, if individually they're starting to fire up, that's a great sign for them. Happy, playing the corner out. He's got 2 more players. Please land one of these shots. It's really damn awkward now. Sean Gez is going to punish him for outstaying his welcome, but it's only an SMG loss. They're willing to invest into this anyway just to try and get some money built up. RPK's there. Scream as well. He's having a nice game for himself here.
Nice utility. Really forces the hand of Misfits, so they expect the push. They clean up almost all the frags. It is still Amanek, but Sixer's got his pistol. No primary here, so maybe Amanek gets that up-close headshot. Makes a break for the bomb site. Could be for the taking, but Sixer, all the wiser, reveals himself, takes the kill, and there we have it. The clean start from EnVyUs, and the gun round now from Misfits.
See what they can afford. It's not been exactly a fruitful first couple of goes here for the Misfits boys. A couple of kills here and there, no plants of course, so lacking the orb, lacking a couple of bits they may have wanted, but they've got enough to fashion something into this round. But on the other side, you've got Sixer here with the orb. Turned it in case there was a flash. Takes a lot of damage for that. Still able to operate, but they're playing a 4-1, so he needs to fall back and be pretty aware of this. But I like this kind of deep CT control being exerted towards B long. I like the deep smokes. I like the mollies here. Happy's a little stuck there just because he can't go through the molly, but you can see Envy really wanting early pressure.
Yeah, trying to apply it on both sides of the map, so very aggressively seeking that man advantage, but instead just taking damage and dishing out utility. Of course, Misfits finding long A. It was nice to see Sixer get aggressive alone towards the A-bomb site, just kind of keeping Misfits honest, maybe making them think he had that extra support, but in reality, he didn't. Now he does, though. That's, of course, Scream, who's rotated over, plays next to the half wall as Sixer posts up towards lower door. And Misfits yet to reveal their hand, just taking map control, methodically clearing corners, and taking it back to the 50-second mark.
But with Scream in this sort of position, it will free up Sixer soon enough, as soon as the hit comes in, but they're not reading this quite right. You can see XMS is actually playing back over towards A, so maybe hearing Amanek's step has actually kind of cost them a couple of seconds of having players in the right place, or they want CT side information, but down to 30 seconds, you just want players in the right place. So it's basically Happy and RPK to control it. It is CT side aggression towards A middle, that's fine, But now you're a little out of sorts if they quicken the pace towards B on the Misfits side, which they're doing. They're starting to get towards Plat. Happy already boosted up towards the tree, gets some good damage dealt, and the follow-up kill. Great stopping power from Happy buying time. But Shazam, it's all on you, and it's not enough. 2 kills is all he gets, and it'll be Envy to get that big gun round on the board, something they are desperately needing. This is a good start for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Happy's position just in and of itself, the frag grenade softens up the target. He gets those 2 high impact positions. So despite that, you know, near miss call on the rotation back towards the A site, Happy can just single-handedly put up a couple kills and make that one look easy. EnVyUs to the 4-0 start now. Crucial gun round victory. Again, we talk about this early momentum for them. Certainly what they'd love, but it is still the pistol buy from Misfits, and they're going to pick up the pace here. They're going to just charge into the B site, quickly taking the head of XMS, but Happy himself, yet again, going to trade it back with 1. Nice cover, though, from this utility. Excellently used. They get themselves the bomb plant and the after plant as well to the 4v4, but the fire forces them out from position. Sick boosts 1 over. Sean Gares almost doubling down here, but Happy still standing, trying to clear out the coop as the 3 players left are isolated on Plat.
You've got to play back into this pretty quickly. It's so hard to dig those players out of standing on Plat, but Sick still up close with the Tech 9. He can just be a nuisance. Play around the side of Speedway, tags up Happy even more. The bomb continues to tick as the fire comes in. It's Shazam and DreamHack to try and lock this down. Oh no! RPK gets it, but do they have time? They do have a kit, and they do indeed have this Envy. In the final moments of that round, do actually play back in. But credit again, I've got to say, the early start of that round for Misfits, the flashes were absolutely perfect. I think it was XMS who just got instantly fully blind, and there's nothing he could have done. But credit here, again, eyes towards RPK in this. That shot is not easy. If he's starting to come alive, so you get the double combo, the Scream RPK duo, that's massive. That's a very tall task to get past. But yeah, nice flashes, nice utility work from Misfits. It does gift them a decent buy in this round finally. Shazam has the AWP at last.
Here we go, another big buy. And once again, the pace is going to be set slightly slower. Shazam still posted up on the angle, but again, aggression from
Look at
EnVyUs.
this.
Pushing straight into Plat. Happy gets the 5v4 straight in the get-go. Of course, these 2 Ts still sectioned off, and Happy's got his number. Sick just pinned down at this point. Happy's going to jump in. Oh my goodness, gets the off, but Sick executes with 1 and the 2nd. Great spray control. He punishes Happy as he tries to retrieve the op.
For a map that teams found near on impossible to find CT-side aggression, you're starting to see it becoming such a commonplace in the meta here. And it's so good to watch when it works out well. That was a little bit overzealous by Happy to go right into that without any knowledge of someone being in the corner or waiting in that smoke, of course, gets punished for it. But let's keep our eyes towards where the bomb is as well. This is all but a ruse. 6 low anyway. If he can do anything here, that's great, but it's not completely essential to the round. The big piece is Scream. He's going to hear these steps. He doesn't get the clean shot he needed. Kind of caught in no man's land. The smokes are up, the hit comes in. Sixer can get there in time, but it's the flank as well from RPK. If Sixer can get a couple on the cross, that is perfect. Any more is brilliant from him as well. You're going to see a weird angle coming out. Do not expect that. DreamHack is brilliant at just creating those just absolutely incredible situations. I haven't seen someone spam from that corner for a while, but yeah, already predicting the rotate too. That was a good round from Misfits.
Yeah, they had a read as to what was going on there, and again, it was just an individual play from Sixer that was most certainly needed. Again, this kind of unravels the advantage that EnVyUs were holding on to. It almost seemed like Happy was aware Sick was in that corner, but then when he goes for the op, he makes a real ruckus, and Sick capitalizes on the moment, spraying down those 2. And here comes Misfits, picking up the pace once more, just getting over towards Plat as quick as they can.
Well, they know the utility's slightly lesser now for Envy. They know that they've slightly taken away some of the money, so it's not a bad idea to do this. The flashes, the mollies will be slightly inadequate, but Happy somehow, while Flash, still going to find at least one of support as XMS does get the kill, but it's Shazam finding some place to play finally in this 3v3.
Scream position towards Rock. Happy lit next to site itself, but Happy's going to get aggressive, and it's amongst the terrorists that he takes 1 frag. DreamHack's going to trade it, but it's Sick to find him on his own. 2 CTs still standing, one of which with off. Six are rotating in, but Sick tries to spray, and this time it does not connect. EnVyUs again holding that B bomb site.
And for Misfits, do you start considering a timeout here? I think you only get 1 in this. I'm not sure how it actually happens when it gets to best of 3s. I think it's 1 per map per team. So Misfits need to find the right timing because they're starting to get some things working. Shazam here finding 2 on the entry is really, really important, but they're still lacking a little something. There's not everything's going right for them. You can see the kills aren't quite there either for the new additions. Amanek and DreamHack just a little quieter than I'd want. They were a very big, impressive factor, and Scream already going to find Amanek right through the door, just lines it up as soon as he gets the connection, just continues on it. And now this very, very weak buy becomes even weaker.
EnVyUs really not shying away from aggression. I mean, we've seen it from both teams already, just picking up paces and trying to take those early fights. But RPK again towards drop down. It's going to pop the molly. DreamHack not going to go in on this one, of course. They're already at that man disadvantage, unfortunately for Misfits, but they're just going to group themselves together, try to get back over towards the A site, hoping that maybe they can catch out Scream, who has now disengaged from his further position. He falls back towards site. He's going to be side by side with Sixer, and Sixer, of course, not the only op in this one. Happy has his towards that B bomb site, and he's posted up on the angle towards Long, so he has all the information in the world. Everyone on EnVyUs can just sit pretty and wait for these terrorists to peek.
So Six is going to be putting down the flashes, but EnVy already falling away from this. They're playing incredibly deep from the site. They're going to play a different angle, make them work for this, because, well, it's going to be hard for them to clear it out. And Six is already going to spot one. They know what's happening now. You can imagine the rotate from B is going to be coming in pretty soon. They don't want to overcommit, though. They don't know the whole picture yet. They've only seen one. They haven't seen the bomb. But look who's come up middle already is Shazam. He needs to land one and make it fast as well. They're not having much time here, but that's the shot you need. Sixer goes down. You're down in 25 seconds, though, and they're clueless. They don't know where these guys are. Scream's still here. The pinch comes in. RPK in support, and there's XMS to seal the deal. It's Envy again taking strides. It feels like they've been fired up. It feels like, you know, yesterday was something they don't want to remember. They don't want to be reminded of, and they're coming out swinging here against Misfits.
The beauty of EnVyUs, you're never quite sure what you're going to get, but this I think is definitely an indicator as to how easy they can win some games, or at least start them off with. 7-1 already, very quick, and Misfits may be looking to get this one out of the way as quick as possible, just sweep it under the rug. They've got those 4 P250s, not a single bit of utility to play with. Scream wants to get aggressive, but falls back further. And EnVyUs just, again, not shying away from taking these fights, as they should be. Quite confident at this point.
And I like the 4-1. I really like it with double ops as well. Just leave Sixer, your main AWPer, I guess, over by A. He can just feel it out on pressure. And a good kind of approach from Misfits too, kind of show presence, a little bit of noise over by B, and then just fall back to A, hoping that it is a 4-1 that you can maybe overwhelm and get that bomb plant in. If you can do it quick enough, you might have a chance. Six is actually out of position. That was really uncomfortable for him. The timing is not good. Smoke goes in towards one side, Molly to the other, trying to buy time, allow the support rolls to come into place, and actually he's isolated the bomb. That's brilliant. This is perfect play coming back in. These flashes are sublime from Envy. Not a single step to come out from Misfits in the end. Perfectly controlled.
I mean, even though this one's an anti-eco, in the previous round where we see Shazam get up to that half wall, it was flashbangs from the support players in Connector, again, allowing the man on site to peek out. XMS able to grab a couple kills in that moment, and Sixer's op had been removed just before. So great utility play from EnVyUs, and they're not shying away from just rapidly hitting Connector. If you lose that A bomb site on Cobble, it can be so difficult to retake. So EnVyUs just not wanting to lose any ground whatsoever, pummeling the T's with utility. And Scream gonna look for a different angle, just kind of shoulder peeks it, gets a bit of a gander, and then falls back further already. So once more, EnVyUs just taking that forefront, leaving Happy back towards the coop, again with this double op setup.
But look at the T side. Couple of smokes, one molly. When they make this hit, it better be spot on. Molly used towards the side of drop. RPK, his stopping power is second to none. And the moment. He's got Scream with him as well. And look at Scream, he's so fluid on this map. He was over by Long a couple of seconds ago. Now he's in drop. They like this fullback 4-1. And it looks like Misfits are reading this. It's just how do they exploit it? What is this smoke, Sean? What is this?
Ooh.
Off we go. What does this give away? So it just smokes off Long. So it isolates the Long player. So I guess they're going to split up Danger maybe? Or just ignore it. Yeah, they're completely locked off Long. So now they can focus towards the A side. That's not bad, but it's these flashes been hindering them. They come up anti-flash, that's great. Now Sixer again under severe pressure. Amanek starting to actually land some shots. This is finally the power the Misfits have. What a beautiful A hit.
Sixer, though, he's still towards sight, and he hits that first flick. Shazam's down. Sean clears it from the backside, and so it's XMS. All that's left versus Amanek and Sean Gares, as now the bomb is planted. Now, he has not been heard whatsoever, and he's starting to creep his way back in on this. Again, Amanek still playing over towards Balk, and it's Sean on site with Op. XMS to the APC. Up close, though, Sean's not going to be able to spot this. So if he can execute XMS, oh, he gets killed from Amanek. He catches the angle. Timing gets the best of him, and Misfits get themselves that second round.
That was such a nice A hit, though. And I guess it kept in mind the fact that maybe Scream was still going to be around A long, or they maybe feel that that's still a point of pressure, because there has been a couple of players there, with the rounds they've actually done it. But it was that 4-1. You saw that Scream was already kind of over by drop quite early on, came back over, got towards Connector, but by that point they've already kind of had the confidence that they're going to get the long control eventually. They've already smoked it out, and then playing right up with it. That was so nice. And this is the thing I like with watching Sean Gares. He comes up with these really nice ideas, but finding a little bit of a break in that flawless economy for Envy then. Down to a mag 7 for 6. There's certainly no AWP there, certainly no double AWP. And Misfits have a bit of money to play with, so we might see a bit of a different look here. 6 is still having presence on long. Scream playing off of danger, so a little different approach to this round, as obviously they don't quite have the weaponry they desire.
Now playing into long A as opposed to using, say, that back of the bomb site with the quick rotation through Connector. I think that Amanek's aggression through Connector was meant to catch out players with grenades, notably flashbangs, seeing as that was the problem prior. This time around, as you mentioned, EnVyUs have shifted things up, and Sixer up close could just be pummeling with buckshot, but it's frags over towards the B site. Sick going down, but Sixer, oh, he's able to find one. That's Shazam. Pelleted down as Scream takes the headshot. Next, Scream doubling up. He wants the third, and he's gonna find it. The entirety of Misfits, or at least what remained, walk into his crosshair, and that's EnVyUs again with another reset round.
Yeah, sadly for Misfits, it's not feeling great for them at this point. Frustration, I can imagine. Scream's having a very nice game. Let's watch this back. It was the second shot that's very impressive to me. Sean Gare's just not feeling it right now. He's not having a nice time. Tech9 force up. Maybe a swift hit towards B. We've seen this before. This was a very impressive flash round, so let's keep our eyes on XMS, because last time he was completely blind, and you can see the flash is being put down now, and I'm not sure if he is. He's having to fall off this. Yeah, already he's completely whited out. This is the same execute we saw before, and it works really well. Again, completely forcing back Envy. They have no one in on the sites. Good spray damage coming through. RPK is very low. He could be traded on, though. That's basically his role here. Keep the attention, allow Happy through, and that's exactly what's happened, but Happy couldn't make it count on the second shot there. A couple of guns now go over towards Misfits, but XMS wants in on the action.
And he's still up close. Here comes Amanek out from Coop. Gonna take the man advantage into the hands of Misfits. Sixer screams still for the retake, but Sixer gets aggressive. Sean getting aggressive here as Scream's all that's left, and Sick will take it. So Misfits able to, again, use that nice little utility, that nice execution into the B bomb site, and this time they walk away with the round, not just that 1v2 situation.
So nicely done. I do like some of the theory pieces from Misfits. They're kind of forced up eco rounds. Lovely. The flashes are great off the back of it too. It completely isolates that close player. Means that they get a chance to get the bomb plant, and that's generally what allows you to really put those Tech9s into work. So it has taken the money away from Envy. Finally, we're going to see Envy on the back foot, but do remember, Envy got most of their rounds, well, not most, but a good fair amount against KPI in these rounds. I don't think you're going to get away with it with teams like Misfits. They are very aware of this. A little more so, you know, very kind of used to teams trying to make this sort of play happen, but still very, very deadly as Envy, so you've got to be a little cautious, even when they do just the pistols.
I feel like this execution play over towards Cobblestone that we've seen on these half buys, it reminds me of the half buy round versus Heroic on Overpass yesterday, where they just make so much of their utility, really controlling the positioning of the CTs and reading into that, which then obviously just makes finishing the round all the easier. But this time it's just going to be a cohort of Ts moving up towards platform. Sixer ready to receive, but with just the P250 and no armor.
Boost and drop, though.
That's very true. Happy, we saw him fast flank in the previous round and only take one, this time with a pistol. Could maybe get more, but Shazam's looking to crack open the bomb site, and Sick gets killed. It's Sixer coming in with two. Shazam finds one, but Scream responds back, and it's Amanek. All that's left. Luckily, he's able to deal with Happy, so he finds that lurk, but there's two players on site, and 30 seconds on the clock, and a bullet through his brain. Scream gonna actually make those pistols happen.
You thought that Misfits would have had that. They seem so regimented in their approach, but the boost came in with Sixer able to get those two kills as well, going not necessarily unchecked, but he just got away with it. And there's Scream on site too. He hits just two big shots, comes in finally with the rifle there. But as soon as he gets powerful positioning like that and no one's forcing him off with utility of any variety, you know he's landing it. This is the Scream that you don't want to meet. This is the Scream that can make so much of a difference on his own. I'm basically pulls back this round, and look at Happy, he's right up there again. Oh, he's absolutely ripping into Misfits by doing this sort of stuff. You're frustrated by now. How are you not checking this? The calls are probably being said. He's been doing that every single round, every time he gets away with it, but a nice quick hit towards A. 3 players up middle, Sixer can't control it. Smoke goes in, forcing them either to commit through, or it gives him a bit of sanctuary. Oh, Sixer, this is smart.
Sean Garrett's trying to find the target. He can't. Communication crumbling as Sixer reveals himself yet once more, but it's the 2v2 nonetheless. Devaduvic, all that's left versus Happy and XMS. He's going to be able to creep his way through connector here, but it's being held. XMS with the heads-up play, drops the bomb, and displays EnVyUs' assertion. 11-3. It just keeps going.
This is a rough start for Misfits. You know, we all talked about Envy in their slow starts, but Misfits needed this. I think it was brought up slightly on the desk that these guys haven't had the best of times recently. As a team, at least, they've been struggling to keep up a couple of the very good results they had earlier on in it. You know, obviously the drama with Shazam happened, and, you know, the coach and such and so on, but still, you kind of want more from this than what we're seeing right now. Here's that quick hit again, but Happy's found a way around it. 4 players, they're dodging, they're weaving, but they can't escape. 2 go down in the end. A nice flash again comes in. You can see the brilliance that these guys can present. Sean Gez with a lovely little one off the wall, but how far will it take him this time? There's already 3 players here. Dink comes in, XMS forced off the angle. 6 succeeded as well towards Scream, and XMS falls. This is very nicely done. The smoke goes out. More aggression from Sick, but it doesn't pay off this time. It's just Sean, and it's a 1v2.
So blind. He's going to try to section off one side and catch the angle to the opposite, but both CTs coming in here, so they should be able to trade this out. Sean wanting that 1v1, but RPK only needs 1 bullet to take not only the last kill, but the last round of the half. EnVyUs with a commandeering lead over Misfits. As you said, it's kind of a shame to see that Misfits, having found success at DreamHack Tours, then goes through this bit of a, you know, scuffle, and seems to obviously have not come out in the same form, at least not as of yet. It is still recent, but man, 3 T-side rounds is just not there for them.
No, and for me, I think generally when Envy are at their best, they're very good on their T-side, so going to the second half, I don't think it's going to be a brilliant ride for them, but again, the problem is that you're getting a lot of the factors that we discussed being big win conditions overall for Envy turning up today. You're having Scream having big moments. You're seeing RPK starting to come into just being solid. That's all you really want from RPK as well, is just that kind of solid ability where you can just put him in a spot you know he's going to deliver you 2 kills. He's always going to trade out effectively no matter what he does. So if that starts to become a thing, it gets a little terrifying. And this does really come down to a pistol too. If Envy get this, and then maybe even just a second, the third, whatever they get, you know that Misfits are back to the wall gaming from that point. So Misfits need to put a lot of weight in this pistol round coming up. They need to come up with their best ideas of how to approach this and how to handle Envy coming at them, because this is going to be it. They need this round on the board.
I mean, ideas is something that Misfits certainly had on that T side. We saw a nice little bit of variation even towards the A site, but this is a whole new beast. Amanek puts himself on display, falls to 17 health as Sixer gets tagged ever slightly. Of course, he's the utility man for EnVyUs with a smoke and flash still to play off of. Devaduvic looking to support.
Happy up in drop. It tells you nothing. This guy's constantly here. I don't know how he's got to this point. They're playing actually very passive towards holding drop, and that's not a bad idea. But you can see him toying with people. He's trying to draw them in, and he's done very well at that. Pulling 2 players over by A. He spots one in connector. He knows that 3 players are essentially leaning towards A slightly, so we just need to find that last man, really, who's unaccounted for on B. That's a coup, and that is Shazam. 2 kills, 3 kills. That is exactly what they needed in this round. But Envy aren't done. They're not going to let this slip. Scream and Happy is still alive.
Oh, and they found themselves some frags, but Devaduvic now also removed. It's Amanek on 17 health. Happy falling back, grabbing the bomb. And with 45 seconds, his options are open. He's very wary as to where Amanek could be playing from. So he's going to spend a couple seconds just creeping. Clearing corners, hoping to find him out. But again, 30 seconds. Now Amanek's going to double back. He's going to go all the way towards long.
This is one of those mental games that's just hilarious. Happy could have just straight up planted B. Amanek hold an angle that pretty Happy won't check on. You just don't expect it. Yeah, and now Amanek, you Are you waiting for the plant? Okay. Oh no, Amanek! What has gone on? Why have you let this happen? 3 HP for Happy, 1 bullet should do it, but time. 8 seconds, Happy needs to push him. Oh no, he's got the bomb down! Amanek is up, absolutely fluffed his lines. Oh, thank God he lands it, because that could have been a absolute disaster for him in the end. He did just about stay alive with 6 HP, but sweet Jesus, even Happy asking what was your HP at the end of that, because that was way too close.
You talk about the importance of this pistol round. If that's the way you lose it, oh mine. But nice pistol play here from Shazam, just holding back on the coup. The unknown position revealed and picking up those frags. Had Sean Gare's been able to get the kill towards Happy on Rock as well, then suddenly that split to the B bomb site starts to fall apart, and maybe Scream is isolated alone and killed thereafter. But either way, it's made much closer, and Misfits still take it. Into the gun round we go for them. Still just a couple of light pistols on EnVyUs, all thanks to that plant, of course.
Yeah, and Envy working their way up long. Happy, still being Happy. Wherever Happy is, the team's on the other side of the map. And they've made it fairly far. They're just going to play for a bomb plant. If they can get away with this, it's kind of brilliant. The only real threat to this is DreamHack at the moment. He's playing APC. And he might just get timed on this. There's no one really watching it actively. Now he's got a lot of players facing him. Oh God, he gets overwhelmed. And now, sure, Amanek's here, but he can't do much. The thing is he has to focus towards middle and hope his teammates behind him deal with what's coming up on long. The bomb's already on the side pretty much by this point. Amanek can't play back into it just yet. There's still threat there. And now Sean works his way up. And they've got what they wanted, Envy. They've got the bomb plant. They've secured even more money for this next coming up round. They're not going to win this, but you got job done. That's a win in your book.
Yeah, they got themselves the plant. I mean, nicely done by Amanek to at least keep an eye out towards that flank. Had he gone down and the M4 retrieved, and suddenly the cross is in question. We see Sean Gares get caught out with his MP9. So very important for him to just linger and, again, have trust in his teammates to rotate from that B site. But EnVyUs, they're content with this. They get themselves the plant in the first round when arguably they shouldn't, and the second as well. It gets them not only guns early in round number 3, but also with a whole collection of utility.
Yeah, Misfits. Well, they've suffered through the test. That's the thing. Even with a very, very close pistol round, and then the follow-up was still pretty good for Envy, all said and done. They make it through. They get 2 on the board. That gives them breathing room. Not much, but a little. But the thing is that they can't really suffer through any, I guess, economy breaks, right? If things go wrong for them, it suddenly goes very wrong. So they have to play a very, very clean CT side. Envy just going to take their time. They've got a lot of utility to play with. They're not in particularly any hurry here. And 3 players early for Misfits coming around towards A. I'm not sure if they're going to try and push something off the back of this, but I'm not sure if that's a great idea. But they're making a good read of it.
Amanek just going to buy his time. Curious to see if EnVyUs just decide to barrel through this. They are keeping up the pressure towards the lower, and it's there that DreamHack opens up shop. Amanek, having changed his attention though, allows for EnVyUs to creep through that smoke, so Stairs is in question, and RPK finding a headshot's gonna further this. DreamHack retreats, leaving Amanek alone there, so an untradeable frag gets us to the 4v4, and EnVyUs, they're gonna walk away here. No commitment. So, oh my God, they almost drop him as well.
I don't know why there's 3 of them in middle then.
If you're just gonna fall back.
Yeah, well, Sean couldn't do anything. He had to fall off this because the 2 French players tried to take middle even though Sean was already there. And they just left long open. They could have just walked up long. There's no one watching it. So that's a bit weird anyway. Sick could be holding the angle. They are clean. That's the bomb dropped as well, but a quick exchange. Shazam is still alive, though. He's the difference maker. DreamHack does win out against Happy as well. And now it's just Sixer in a 1v3. He's going to find 1, but no more to be seen as Shazam shuts the book on that round. But yeah, a miscommunication going on over by A. There's no reason you'd have 3 players watching middle when they were perfectly fine with it. You don't just ignore long when they've already taken control in it. Sure, there was 1 smoke there, but you're just banking that, they've seen a smoke, definitely won't just slow walk up afterwards. But yeah, a little strange, but it wins them the round to a smaller degree anyway, just because purely the stopping power is left on B. They didn't over-rotate in the end. So 12-6, Misfits build another round on the board.
Still just a few pistols on EnVyUs. So again, one of these rounds that Misfits should be able to walk away with. We said they needed the pistol, but obviously their margin of error is so small. They cannot afford all too many mistakes. You'd like to see them at least get towards double digits before maybe giving one up, if this comeback is to be that real. Amanek, a little wary, being alone at the A site. Just gonna fall back towards the vent. Of course, he does spot targets at this point, and Sean has lost control of drop down. That's It's RPK forcing his hand back. Devaduvic wanting to rotate over towards the A site to help out with that initial call, but again, Sean's calling for support elsewhere, so he's kind of stuck now in the middle ground, and RPK removes him as Sean tries to pry for information.
Shazam should be fine, though. I doubt he's going to get overran here. He shouldn't be, at least. Able to fall back and forth to it. Does get 2. Eventually picked up by Scream, but everything's been seen now. Unless Happy gets this kill on Sick, then it gets a little problematic, but he doesn't. So Scream now has just to land the taps. Now, we know he can do it, but he has no armor, so he can't suffer through an exchange. It has to be clean, and it's got to be now.
If you want to see it from anyone, clean headshots. Scream towards the platform. He's going to get pushed alone by Sick, and that's all they need. So Sick, heads up play, clears him out from the plat. Again, some damage dealt from EnVyUs. They're going to be content with a couple of kills, certainly still curbing the economy of Misfits, and with such, again, a little wiggle room, it's very important that Misfits keep their players up so that they can ensure these rebuys, so that they can get all these grenades, because if we start to see EnVyUs just charge them down, then frags and Molotovs aplenty, but excellently held, and back to the gun rounds we go. Again, no op here from EnVyUs. Sixer just going to grab the AK, but Shazam's got his trusty weaponry.
Be a nice change up as well. Not sure where he's going to be playing that one through at the moment. Again, a 3-man stack towards A coming out. Maybe just expecting something that's not quite there yet, but it's Sick and Sean Gers who'd have to handle pretty much all of the Envy plays if they go now. And it looks like they're going to apply some pressure here. Sick's going to have to fall off this, and the hit comes through. Sean is going to win out and drop. Good flashes to slow this down. Sick does fall, though, and this is getting problematic.
Sean all alone at this point. He's just calling for help, and Happy's going to be able to clear him out once more. Happy in drop down. Very impactful. Yet again, just successfully splitting the site and cutting off this rotation. So Misfits, their hand is forced. They have no option. They're going to walk away from this and forfeit the round. EnVyUs have been able to do it with just these 2 kills. And while they're still very scared of some kind of a push, Misfits are gone. I feel as though EnVyUs may have been reading into the fact that we saw that early A site stack from Misfits, and just trying to pick up the pace towards the B bomb site pays off. They're able to just get out of platform immediately. And again, that late rotation with Happy lurking and controlling connector. Hands are tied. Yeah,
as soon as Sean went down, you're kind of screwed on that one. There's no retake potential. You've lost out, control and drop, and there could be any number of players everywhere throughout that map. That's a big problem. You have no playback in at all unless you're already round the back. So save time for Misfits. Still going to be on okay money. They've got, you know, decent gun save, a lot of utility, but yeah, it was just the fact it was just a quick hit. They didn't have the AWP there. They didn't have much stopping potential, sadly. Even with utility, just nothing really came through for them. So you got to feel for Misfits in that. Just a bit of a misposition, misread, and a quick hit from Envy to get this one going. Again, Envy aren't in a massive rush. They still have plenty of rounds to play with. This is not a do-or-die situation for them at all. But for Misfits, they need to stop this now. They can't really lose this next round either. So they've got to get it on the board. They've got to stop this. But again, Envy haven't shown much in the way of what they can bring. It's been a couple of quick hits here and there. We haven't seen that slow default. We might start seeing it now, though.
Yet again, Misfits going to allocate 3 players towards A, at least early on. Playing from inside the stairs, not ramp, so heavier long presence, while EnVyUs just, yet again, boost Happy up to play from drop down. Very dynamic on both sides of drop, Happy is.
Consistently playing that for so many years now. Smoke goes in, Molly goes out, Scream going through the checklist of taking middle control, but it's Shazam on the other side with the AWP.
Looking for that impactful frag, but Scream opens up, Amanek trades it immediately back, and then Shazam takes the man advantage, forcing the bomb away. Sixer tucking tail, not wanting to drop this. Now, of course, EnVyUs can still just group themselves up and try to execute into the B bomb site. They've revealed their presence of defense at A, and we saw it in the last round, just that rapid hit once they're aware of it. But they are still taking their time with this one.
Problem is they don't have any mollies left to clear out Sick quickly, so if they do want to go for this, they have to face it, and it then leaves you open to Coop. Stat, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get past. You can see as to why Sick's going to make wonderful work of that positioning. Falls back off it, goes back in as well. Exactly what you needed. And now Misfits survive again. 3 alive is good, their money will stay up. They'll be able to kind of keep this one going. Might have to drop out a couple of guns, but we know on the other side, Envy might start dwindling a little money-wise. You still got enough to fashion something together, But still, 1.6 on Happy, it's not ideal across the board. You might just see a bit of a pistol round to even out the money here.
It's a very comparable start to our opening half when we see EnVyUs on the CT side. So this has the makings of a very one-sided half. If they're able to deal with this rapid B site hit, EnVyUs just gonna do what Misfits were doing in the sense that they're charging out into the site. XMS opens up, but Shazam quickly quelling the threat as the fire keeps the rest at bay. But this has allowed for Happy to get in to Connector.
If he wins this 1v1, they could actually get this round still. We'll see if he can do it. If he gets Amanek down, that bomb can rotate over towards A, he can become a real nuisance, and they get time for it. DreamHack's wondering what's happened here. They're kind of curious as to, did he make it this far? What's happening? The bomb's not actually playing off it yet. So depending on how this unravels, let's see how Happy calls this. He could try and bait out that they're going A by just taking the fight. If he loses it, they might still consider it being the one. But Sean's pushing up for info. They don't want to be completely dependent on Envy. No, but they went out. Sean, that's a disaster. And now Happy can be a huge pain to deal with. He does get mollied out. Shazam has to handle this now.
Gets flashed off of the angle. Happy still yet to reveal himself, but Amanek's so wary. He's gonna get killed. Happy takes the headshot, and now the bomb's opened up towards A, so pulling the defense in both directions and making the best of it. But Happy tries to further the fight, and that costs him. And at this point, Sixer now unable to cross. The CTs have arrived, and Devaduvic's gonna further himself towards Balk. Sixer wants to get across with the tech, but he is denied, so it's Scream with the M4. In a 1 versus 2, 20 seconds to play. He tries to jump, and it pays off as he hits the headshot and finds himself in the clutch. Swaps to the Deeg, looks for the preemptive peek, but instead he sticks the bomb.
Shazam up against Scream. 9 bullets is all Scream has. He makes a bit of noise, and Shazam's already crossed. He doesn't know this. Scream is unaware, and Shazam waits on the corner perfectly. Great timing on the cross, and they just about salvage this round. It was not looking good for Misfits then, but they just about keep it together.
Insane the amount of on-the-fly plays that happened at that moment. I mean, that round starts off with a very quick B hit, and then they redivert their attention based on Happy getting inside of Connector. Connector was meant to open up the A bomb site, but then ultimately works towards B, and then back a second time. So very on the fly by EnVyUs, and they make the most of what was just a pistol round. Very costly versus Misfits. Again, a team who needs to be building this economy to make this long haul, but we shall see if in this gun round, EnVyUs can find another win. It's Sixer to miss his shot as Amanek gets aggressive. Happy once again posted towards drop, just looking for the counter boost.
And I like this. They did the early deep smoke. You saw, I think it was Devaduvec doing that, the fast smoke that can go up towards Plat. Shazam and Sick played off it, and now you can see them again doing this sort of thing. So they're playing for CT side information and control. So I like it. They're not just sitting back. They're forcing Envy to have to play back into this. So they're being a real nuisance. I wonder how long Sick sticks around here. He might have to back off this eventually. They are going to start feeling the pressure through drop, and if you lose drop control where you have players pushed up even by B plateau, it's so hard to play back in towards site. But while this happens, Envy aren't necessarily looking towards B as we speak. Now, they are by vast majority over by A. They're still kind of playing up on long, playing up on middle. Scream again, going through that checklist that he has. The smoke and the molly goes in. XMS puts the smoke down towards long. We have 4 players here now, but already the rest of Misfits are playing right back on the side. So they're playing a very, very passive defense.
Unfortunately, Devaduvic is still trying to keep his eyes in drop, and that's not going to help the defense at A. Always so scared of Happy coming in from behind them. But now he's going to commit further back towards the site. So 3 players just kerneled on the bomb site. And the entirety of EnVyUs about to crash down upon them. Amanek with a bit of an angle, maybe catches one, but it's Sean Gare towards Cannons, who has to hit this. He doesn't. Happy and Sixer combined for 2 frags, and Devaduvic responds with 1, but Amanek yet to be revealed, sitting to the back of the site. He's going to be able to stop the bomb at least once.
Time.
And time is of the essence. 5 seconds, it's done.
You played that so well. All he has to do is stay alive, and Envy messed up their lines a little bit by not even checking on that. I don't know why Amanek's just standing there, but anyway, money's quite low for them, bearing in mind. That's a mistake on his part. But overall, him being able to play that out and play it that cautiously and waiting until the moment to strike was very good, but a little sloppy from Envy. But even though they did find 2 on the site, right? You're imagining, oh, well, that's it. But you still have to check this sort of thing. You still have to go through that checklist in the back of your mind of, all right, did we do everything we need to? Did we check on every angle? All right, we're there. Okay. But still, this keeps the game going now. We're at 13-10. This is where Envy need to kind of tighten up a little bit. You start to lose a little bit of that, I guess the big advantage, right? That's the main thing. They had this huge lead, and you don't need to rush it because you did have a lead. You don't need to go on those crazy force buys. That's fine. But eventually, you've got to start getting back into this game because Misfits, they're bringing a lot more to show.
After getting reset in the first half, it took Misfits 3 rounds to find their next, and that's the exact position EnVyUs are in here. Of course, Misfits had more guns. EnVyUs with only 2. Amanek potentially in the open, as we do find RPK and Happy dropping in and finding a barrel in their faces. Sean Gares able to pop one head, jumps up, he spots Happy, but Happy with the AK is able to swing it with one of his own. Sick then trades that back, so drop's been controlled, and the entirety of EnVyUs just filter into the crosshair of Amanek. He tries to spray for the 3rd, but it's Devaduvic to clean it up. Regardless, another round for Misfits.
Very well played. They're starting to feel out of the game here. Not exactly great money by Envy that round, but this is a nice defense from Misfits, and I'm wondering what the buy is coming in from Envy. See how much money they've got. They should have enough to get a decent purchase here. I wonder if Six is ever going to be able to really start coming in with an AWP. He hasn't had much of an opportunity yet. His money's not really suited towards it. I think Happy, is he just on a P250? Yeah, so he's the one who suffered for this. Overall, he could have afforded a little more. He's got 1.2, but maybe a faster piece coming out from Envy. But they do have the molly, so I'm hoping maybe an execution here. But it is a 4-1, so Misfits placing themselves very well to receive this. Sean Gare is getting a good read, but a lot of utility used early on. Now, whether or not Envy actually go on it is the next thing. There's still a lot of opportunity, but they've already gotten drop control. Sick, though, adjusts brilliantly. RPK falling gives away everything now. There goes the second man in towards drop as well. Shazam able to line him up, drop him down, and Misfits having a clean round, and that was the vital one. Keep the money up, keep yourself right in the game. It's 13-12 now, and Envy, where have you gone?
Momentous round here for Misfits. Just so clean. Great positioning. We see both Sick and Shazam locking down the bomb site. And again, EnVy is going to buy into this, but with only 3 AKs. So better than 3 pistols is seen not too long ago. But yet again, over towards the B site, Misfits send their forces. 4 guys on the bomb site. Or at least ever so close. Leaving 1 guy on long A. Just hoping, of course, to find some presence, and EnVyUs is going to take exactly that. They push themselves into Matrix, and it's going to get smoked off. Amanek calling for reinforcements already. But at least this, again, is just going through the steps that we have seen EnVyUs do over towards the A site. Normally it's Scream with the flashbang and the smoke, taking all this information and control, and that's all EnVyUs have done. Setting it up early. I mean, 1:10 still on the clock, and all the information in the world.
I'm going to fall back over towards B. They have dismantled the stack, at least. That's one thing for Envy. Still have a lot of utility to hand. But Misfits still have all their flashes, pretty much. They still have a lot to play on themselves. Shazam. Eyeing it up. A couple of players starting to filter through. Now they almost line up for him. That's big, though. Nice start. Not overwhelmed. Not pressured, but swings out wide, and RPK takes his head off.
And Sick in the open as well, just cowering behind the rock. Devaduvic bails him out by finding 1 frag, but it's XMS with the next, and Happy lurking through smoke yet again. Sick finding a kill, will be traded back, and that leaves us in the clutch. 1 versus 1, 20 seconds to play with, and the bomb on site. Scream, can he do it this time around? In his last clutch attempt, Shazam got the best of him. And it'll have to be Amanek this time, but Scream, he needs this plant. Again, only 10 seconds. He's played out his time. He was hoping for the duel. Now he needs to commit. Amanek knows exactly where he should be.
Scream looks to door, looks back, still no clue. Amanek slowly encroaching as Scream waits. He holds his breath as right on the other side is Amanek, and there it is. We are at 13-13. The comeback is real. I didn't want to get excited until I saw it really posted up on the numbers. I didn't want to see until there's even a sip of relief there and a very different look on Scream's face now. He had a monstrous first half, but unable to find that same phenomenal success here in the second. 13-13 though, that has put Envy on notice.
No matter how big the spree of rounds EnVyUs put on the board for their defensive half, this is now 6 consecutive for Misfits. Unprecedented, at least so far in this game. But wow, can they do it? It is 13-13 apiece. It is AKs yet again. And there's plenty of grenades for EnVyUs. They're not going to actually get pushed on over towards Long B. This time it's going to be Sick who gets softened up slightly. He's really only that line of defense, so Misfits have just gone back to the earlier bit of this half where they do play 3 players on A. Amanek, one of which sprays big. Shazam finds the pluck, and Devaduvic the last. Misfits in the lead. How long ago have we seen this? Absolutely never, because it was such a one-sided affair. So it has happened. Misfits have it in their hands. EnVyUs against the ropes.
And mentally, if you're Envy, how much of a reset ability do you still have left? After that, you know, okay, the first loss against KPI was something that you're going to have to put in the back of your mind anyway. You don't want to dwell on that. But then you lose out after having this lead. Again, another very tilting moment to a team that are known to be quite fiery with their emotions. So I don't know how well they're going to receive this, and this could crumble them. This could genuinely make this a 2-0 to Misfits. But it's not over yet. It's still 13-14. But true to trend, this looks like it could be another Misfits round, but a different read here this time. There's only one man. It's Amanek on toward A at the moment. He spots out the plays. He's going to make the call soon. Players already up middle. 3 on long. They're going to win out the side, and they're quick on it this time. They're going to get the bomb across, I can imagine. A couple of flashes come in. Oh, Sean just can't land the shot. And they've been so aggressive on this Misfits. They need to hit the brakes for a second. Otherwise, mistakes are going to happen.
A mistake like that, blocking off the peak from Balk, allows for Sixer to take the next frag thanks to that retrieved M4.
Why does RPK have the bomb here?
Speaking of mistakes, luckily Sixer's going to get another kill, so he furthers the man advantage. Shazam, all that's left now, and he too toppled. EnVyUs, at a crucial moment in this opening map, are able to tie it back 14 apiece, so now it's all in the air. It's anybody's game.
How's the money been staying for the Misfits side? Decent enough. Amanek, how much do you have left over? Not a great deal, so we might need to be dropped out here. Yeah, just a UMP, so I doubt we're going to see that 4-1 here. Even though they do like it, so Devaduvac going to pull himself over there early. But yeah, that was a bit awkward when RPK had the bomb underneath balcony, but they recovered well. Shazam wants to make up for the lack of what they have. Early play towards Plat. No one actually there this time. They're playing a little further back, Envy. A little bit of a slower approach. Limited utility on the Misfits side, so they have to be very aware of how they utilize this.
Very passive from EnVyUs. I mean, I'm sure, again, we're going to start to see them go through those steps towards the A site. Multiple times they've done exactly that. And Misfits were just moving around this part of the map earlier on, but already they've fallen off. See a bit more aggression towards B platform. Both teams having employed that here throughout the match. But Devaduvic wants some audio cues. At least he hears and sees that smoke. There's nobody on the other side. EnVyUs retreating back towards B, where they could assert a 5v2 man advantage. Again, we've seen Happy play into drop down, really control that connector rotation. And so Shazam's gonna feel the heat, falls back immediately after missing one shot, and as he re-peaks, Sixers posted. Excellently done.
Why in rounds like this do you do that? That has got to be frustrating. And now Envy are in. If they lose this, oh my word. Misfits gonna have to fall off it and save. They don't have the money for this anymore. This is getting to terrifying levels. Devaduvac gonna find Happy at least on the way out, so gonna try and keep hold of that gun as long as he can, but this is not how you lose a game, surely not. Yeah, Shazam re-peeking on that. No flash to set him up. Just wanted to go back for it. Not in rounds like this. That's going to put Envy to map point, obviously.
Yep, exactly. EnVyUs, once they get so close to throwing away that lead. Bit of a resurgence here in the last couple of rounds. Of course, Amanek going down is going to cost them that gun, and it's only the M4 of Devaduvic being grandfathered forward. So there we go, EnVyUs. All off the back of that pistol A-site rush as well.
Now, money-wise, you're in about 2K territory for Misfits, so they are very, very poor. This re-peak, though, yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Like, sometimes if you feel it, you just got to go for it, but oh, that is harsh to witness. If he lands it, great, he can make the difference, but it's such a high risk that it may not be worth the reward in this sort of round, and you know he's going to be feeling that one later on. Might lose a little bit of confidence beside him. Hopefully he can recover. UMP this round, and a lot of UMPs when I say that. You got a CZ with Sean Gears as well. The rest of Envy on a perfect buy, however. They are very well set in this. but we've seen mistakes happen. We've seen them lose these rounds, so it's still very, 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 very possible.
I think that one of the nice changes in this map, as opposed to yesterday where EnVyUs lose to KPI in the 30th round, is that, of course, now we're seeing EnVyUs slow things down as they get close to the end. Versus KPI, it got very desperate, just using Scream, trying to crack open the bomb sites, just pushing and rushing, and never really kind of changing up that pace. But EnVyUs have fallen back to a more structured play. Once more, just clearing out long, taking all the map control in the world, and then making their mind up from there. But it is a stack for Misfits at A currently.
EnVy are being really loud about this, though. Like, they are not selling a fake. They're not trying to play a flank. They're just putting all 5 members in one direction. Scream, the only one to succeed so far. They've lost out on XMS. This is a bit worrying because there's so many players in the right place. But Scream, Happy, and Sixer make it count when it matters. 16-14. An absolute heartbreak for Misfits on map 1.
So close, but EnVyUs, I mean, the fact that they can just put those last 3 rounds on the board is just so crucial. That's the kind of resilience that you'd expect, though, from world champions.
Yeah,
then again,
a very tough loss for Misfits on this, but just purely because of how it went down. There's games where you still lose, but you don't feel like that. That has got to be one of those really, really frustrating ones for them. Hopefully they can mentally just kind of pull themselves back into this somehow. Just take a second away. Just walk away from it for a second, deep breath, come back in on the map 2. I think it's Overpass next, if I'm not mistaken, which is a good map for them. So hopefully for them, they can get themselves back in this one and just kind of refocus, because there's a lot of things during that game that are going to be pretty tilting to handle.
I think that it's like, while it's a soul-crushing defeat to almost make that comeback happen, you have to remind yourself that you were down 12-3. That's a win that you should have never been afforded. You should have already had to just go for that mental reset and start it over past 30 minutes ago. But now they at least have that bit of resilience. They know that they can do it. They just have to keep themselves cool, calm, and collected and come back on map number 2.
Well, we're going to find out if they can do that. We're going to head to a short break, but when we're back, we're going to find out how it goes down on Overpass. A bit of a heartbreaking loss there for Misfits to start with, but plenty of opportunity coming into map 2. We'll see how it goes down.